So today I wanted to talk about the 4 ways to make money and the 2 types of income. These are concepts that were introduced during my 20-year financial career, actually probably more than 20 years, when I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki called The Cash Flow Quadrant. If the name sounds familiar, you might recognize him more from the book he wrote, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. But in the cash flow quadrant, he got into the concept of the 4 ways to make money and 2 types of income. And really, it's concepts that should be taught in school before people go to work or figure out what kind of job they want, before they consider college or anything else. So the first way to make money is the one that most people are the most familiar with. It is being an employee. That's an active source of income. In other words, if you don't work, you don't get paid. That's all that means. Okay? You're trading your time for money typically. You are building someone else's dream. You work usually most of your life hoping for a raise or to get promoted to management, thinking that that's going to be a big payoff, but usually it's nothing but a huge disappointment. And the myth of being an employee is that it's safe and it will give you good benefits. It's how you can get insurance and secure your retirement. The reality is that you are simply a replaceable cog that is totally at the whims of someone else, and you have no control really whatsoever over your future. You might think you do. You might think that by getting a degree and this and that and the other that you're more marketable and therefore more secure with your place in the world, but really the exact opposite is true. And as an employee, typically the only path to a passive income is the meager investments that you might make, and most people don't bother to invest at all. If they do start investing, usually they start way too late. I've talked before about the fact that when you turn 18, you should dump a chunk into a Roth, and I stand by that. But that's the reality of it, okay? Yes, you might have a side hustle and things of that nature, but those are a different subject. As an employee, the only path to a passive income is usually through investments. It is possible to win financially, but it takes a lot longer as an employee to do it. It is the longest route and really the least secure. Now, the next way to make money is by being self-employed. That's another active source of income. And by active, I mean if you don't work, you don't get paid. You've got to be doing whatever it is that you're certified or whatever to do in order to get your check. If you stop going into work, you stop getting money. So, what are these? These are trades like being a plumber, an electrician, a welder, or going to college and getting a degree so that you can be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, architect, dentist, that kind of thing. Okay? So again, if you don't work, you don't make any money, but you have more control, you have more security, you're working to build your own dream. Taxes are a bit of a bigger hassle, they're not as easy, you're no longer filling out that easy form, but it is very easy to transition into being a business owner. The one caveat that I'm going to throw out here is a lot of people mistakenly believe that they're business owners when in fact they are self-employed. And the reason I say mistakenly is because of that little catch of if they don't show up to work, they don't get a check. Now, a business owner is the third way to make money, and that is where you start to get into passive sources of income, okay? When you are truly a business owner, you make money whether you are there or not. That's what it means to earn money passively, okay? People work for you. So, to go back to an earlier example, if you went to trade school and learned how to be a plumber, but didn't just become a plumber, you hired other plumbers to work for you, well, then you no longer have to plumb in order to make money. You just have to kind of oversee how things are doing, pass out the jobs, make sure the jobs get done, and voila, you are a business owner. Usually what that entails is hiring some sort of office manager to keep things rolling and keep things scheduled. You're getting a sales manager to be constantly lining up some jobs, and then having 2 or 3 plumbers working for you, doing all the hands-on work in people's homes and businesses. Okay? So that's where we are with a business owner. There are a few downsides, but usually they're more than made up for in the freedom and control that you have as a business owner. The downsides are things like regulations, labor laws, legal issues. Of course, your taxes are more complicated, but by this point, you're paying somebody to take care of all that for you and worry about that. You have an accountant, usually on retainer at least, that does all that for you. I saw a deer over here. Do I get it? It is a bit of a distraction. I don't really need it. Alright, well, the last way to make money, I've mentioned it already, if you were paying attention, is as an investor. Now, being an investor is the ultimate passive source of income, passive way to make money, okay? As an investor, you use your money to make money. You've got money working for you. Now, I said that as an employee and as a self-employed person, really, it's possible to become an investor. Usually the path that you would take is to play the markets, right? But some of the other ways that you could be an investor is by investing in real estate, purchasing the land that businesses are going to use, developments, apartment complexes, things of that nature. That's where land becomes involved. Or you can become a capital investor. Like those guys on Shark Tank, where you invest in people's ideas. You give them some money with the understanding that as profits come in, you will either get a portion of those, or, of course, you will own a portion in the company and receive stock options, things of that nature, from your investment of capital. Okay? Now, the upside to being an investor is total freedom. Your money makes money whether you're there or not, whether you're awake or not. It is constantly working very hard for you, and you have very little of the hassles. As an investor, you usually don't have to worry as much with regulations, labor laws, legal issues, tax issues, blah, blah, blah. You just got your money cranking out some money for you. Now, of these options, it doesn't take a mental heavyweight to figure out which one sounds the best. The problem is that most people were never presented this information just as I've laid it out for you. Instead, it's been hidden from them, for lack of a better word. Nobody's ever bothered to share or tell them. So you go through school being told you need to go to school to get a good job, but you're not told about what that entails. That getting a good job does not mean working for someone else. It means finding something that you can do where you're in control and hopefully turn it into a business. Having the knowledge and skills to be able to do that. Now, if you hadn't heard of this concept, think of all the people that you know that you could share this information with. And if you've heard of these concepts before, when's the last time that you shared it with somebody? You see where I'm going here? Yep, it's a shameless plug to share, like, and comment on this video. You betcha. Now, the best ways that you can reach me is here on Twitch or Xbox. We could get into a party to discuss some of these things. You can also reach me at fustianfinance@gmail.com. That's my email. Hit me with your questions there. I'll probably address it in a video. Might even email you back. Or you can put it in the comments below the video if you're watching this information on YouTube. But the best thing that you can do, the best thing that you should do, is share this information with others.